Back with your trusted news and information. This is the SICC News Express. This is Ralph Zorin Caracas, and these are the topics: the contribution of the classical Greek philosophers, Persian civilization, and the Roman civilization in the development of science and technology. The contribution of the Greek philosophers in science and technology. Thales of Miletus stands as a pivotal figure in the development of Western thought, paving the way for the systematic study of the natural world and laying the groundwork for scientific progress. He predicted a solar eclipse marking a shift towards natural explanations for celestial phenomena. He determined the length of the year and the timings of solstices and equinoxes, and credited with discovering the constellation Ursa Major. He also developed the theory of matter based upon water. Socrates' theory of skepticism. Socrates' contributions to science weren't direct, but rather indirect and foundational. He fostered an intellectual environment that valued questioning, reason, and the pursuit of truth, all of which became cornerstones of the scientific method. Socrates' skepticism is often misunderstood and summarized inaccurately, with the misquote, "All I know is that I know nothing." The Socratic method. This is his primary tool for exploring his skepticism. Through probing questions, he led his interlocutors to analyze their own views, often exposing them to contradictions or lack of evidence. His skepticism ultimately had a positive aim: to stimulate critical thinking, promote intellectual humility, and guide individuals towards more refined and defensible knowledge. Empedocles. His understanding wasn't perfect. He was a pivotal figure in the transition from myth-based to reason-based understanding of the natural world, paving the way for future scientific breakthroughs. He is best known for proposing the theory of four elements: the earth, air, fire, and water. Hippocrates, often referred to as the father of medicine, made significant contributions to science, particularly in the field of medicine. Aristotle, a towering figure in both philosophy and science, made immense contributions across a vast array of disciplines. Aristotle, regarded as the father of biology, undertook a large-scale classification of plants and animals. He introduced a method of scientific thinking that still plays a role today. Engrossed himself in studying many areas of science like physics, astronomy, meteorology, and many more. His nature or great chain of being is one of the first theories in biology. The species from a scale from simple to complex, putting animals that laid warm and wet creatures alive as the highest form, but evolution is not possible. Ralph Zorin Caracas, SICC News Express.
Good morning, everyone. I am Leia Bianca Ericha, and this is the SICC News Express. Archimedes 287 to 212 BC performed experiments which led him to discover the law of the lever and the pulley that resulted in the invention of machines which could easily move loads. He calculated the value of pi, which was geometrical calculation that helped determine the width or circumference of a circle. He excelled in geometry, calculus, theoretical mathematics, hydrostatic, and displacement. In fact, Archimedes made outstanding contributions to a number of science and mathematical disciplines. Many modern engineering and mathematical concepts owe their roots to his work on the lever, pulley, and pi calculation. His contribution to displacement, hydrostatic, geometry, calculus, and other fields of contemporary science and technology are still being felt today. Contributions of Archimedes. Known as the father of geometry because of his many contributions to mathematics. Of course, because of his major contributions to geometry, such as his work on approximating pi, computing the area of a circle, and developing the process of exhaustion, which laid the foundation for integral calculus. Archimedes is frequently referred to as father of geometry. His contributions to science and mathematics had a significant influence on their advancement. It was said that his contributions was the creation of calculus. Calculus was not invented by the Greek mathematician, physicist, engineer, and inventor Archimedes, though he did make important contributions to many other domains. Long after Archimedes' time in the 17th century, Isaac Newton and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz separately created calculus, a renowned researcher in geometry, hydrostatics, and mechanics. Archimedes is credited with discovering the link between a sphere's surface area and volume as well as the buoyancy principle. These contributions are all a part of Archimedes' love for creation and love for mathematics. His love of learning and exploration shaped a number of fundamental concepts that are still used today. These findings prove Archimedes to be ahead of his time by many centuries. Archimedes took a circle and bisected a hexagon until he couldn't bisect anymore and inscribed a circle inside hexagon. He noticed if he increased the number of sides, he increased accuracy of pi. Archimedes made the discovery of this idea in the 3rd century BCE. He used a method of inscribing and circumscribing polygons with an increasing number of sides to more accurately estimate the value of pi. This approach laid the groundwork for later developments in calculus and numerical methods for estimating pi. Ptolemy, about 100 AD, one of the greatest astronomers who founded the geocentric theory, Earth-centered, and wrote the Almagest. Around the year 100 AD, Ptolemy made important advances in astronomy, one of which was the creation of the geocentric model of the world, which proposed that Earth was the center of the universe. For centuries, his Almagest in particular acted as a standard reference and was a true synthesis of astronomical knowledge at that time. Contributions of Ptolemy. The earliest widely known astronomer is Claudius Ptolemy. Claudius Ptolemy was among the first and most significant astronomers in recorded history. Around 2nd century CE, he was born in Alexandria, Egypt, and became well known for his Almagest, a synthesis of Babylonian and Greek astronomy that produced a geocentric model of the world that was generally accepted for decades. Not known for his own work, but the way he combined other astronomers' ideas. Rather than making any revolutionary unique contributions to astronomy, Ptolemy is the best known for his synthesis and improvement of existing theories. He developed his own comprehensive system known as the Ptolemaic model. By building upon the work of other astronomers, especially the geocentric model of the universe put out by Hipparchus and Aristotle. Ptolemy was the first astronomer to make scientific map of the heavens. Ptolemy, who is renowned for his work in mapping heavens, was in fact a prominent figure in astronomy. His most well-known publications, Almagest, offered a true astronomical study that included celestial motion theories and star catalogs. Even though he wasn't the very first astronomer, he made significant contributions to the discipline, and his map laid the groundwork for centuries of studying the universe. A constellation is a group of stars people think of as forming a picture in the sky. Star patterns known as constellations are given names and frequently became myths because of the patterns they make in the sky viewed from Earth. Throughout history, they have been utilized for cultural importance, navigation, and narrative. Democritus developed atomic theory, elaborated idea that the matter consisted of atoms. The atomic hypothesis was really proposed by Democritus, who postulated the matter is made up indivisible components known as atoms. He thought that there were differences in the size, form, and arrangement of atoms, and that they were always in motion inside an infinite emptiness. In the context of Democritus' theory, atoms is a more prevalent phrase, thus it's possible that the term atoms you mentioned was a mistake. Contributions of Democritus. Democritus proposed an atomic theory along with his mentor Leucippus, which stated all atoms are small, hard, indivisible, and indestructible particles made of a single material formed into different shapes and sizes. According to the postulated atomic theory, which is credited to Democritus in his teacher Leucippus, all matter is made up of indivisible, hard, and indestructible components known as atoms that are arranged in different sizes and shapes of a single material. Pythagoras, 497 to 581 BC, mathematician, held that numbers were basic to matter, the Pythagorean theorem. Pythagoras was once a mathematician during his time, and according to him, that numbers are basic to matter. It means that it's just not only a number, but it has significance. He was also known for his famous theory, which is the Pythagorean theorem. Contributions of Pythagoras. Pythagoras found mathematical relationship as the essence of all things. He found out that mathematical relationship as the essence of all things. It means that if we learn mathematics, there are many really beneficial effects on our minds. It strengthens our ability to reason, facilitates analytical thoughts, stimulates mental clarity, produces pragmatism, and can be used in day-to-day situations. He believed that the earth was spherical and that the sun, moon, planets have movement of their own. This contributed to the discovery that the earth revolved around the sun. Like many other ancient Greeks, Pythagoras thought that the spheres and circle were the most ideal shapes and that the earth and all other celestial objects must be spherical. Thus his model was grounded on static thinking. According to him, the earth's actual shape must be the most exquisite and harmonious shape. It just seemed logical that the world should be perfectly geometric. Therefore, he made no attempt to prove it. His discoveries laid the foundation for all subsequent development in geometry. For Pythagoras, geometry is a cornerstone of math that helps us find the missing side length of a right triangle. Plato dealt within the nature of the universe, ascribed geometric forms composed of bounding planes to the element of earth, fire, air, and water, based upon their physical properties. Philosopher Plato discussed the working of the universe. He thought that the forms composed of flat surfaces known as planes might be used to describe everything in the universe, including earth, fire, air, and water. These forms were inspired by the appearance and behavior of these materials in the real world. Contributions of Plato. Plato's major contributions was the field of psychology on the subject matter of metaphysics. His thought on the idea of the soul in its tripartite of division, intuition, logisticon, nous, which he equated with the brain, and the active emotion spiritness, that reside in the chest, serve as the basis for future psychologists and their studies. The great philosopher Plato made major contributions in the psychology, particularly in the subject of metaphysics. His theories regarding the soul and its division into three components, intuition, logisticon, insight, which he thought was linked to the brain, and active emotions or spiritness which reside in our chest, were interesting future psychologists researching these subjects. Are greatly influenced by these theories, they made a significant contributions to the understanding of the ways in which different aspects of our daily lives interact and shape the whole human experience. That's all. Thank you.
Aristarchus. Aristarchus is both a mathematician and an astronomer. Aristarchus discovered a new theories about the way the planets move in their orbits. Aristarchus truth that even though the earth revolved around the sun and it also spun its own axis or spin point as it followed its orbit around the sun. So, si Aristarchus ay parehong mathematician at astronomer. Natuklasan ni Aristarchus ang mga bagong teorya tungkol sa paraan ng paggalaw ng planeta sa kanilang mga orbit. So, natuklasan daw ni Aristarchus nga naay theory nga ang mga planets kay nagaagi sa ilahang mga orbit or naa sila'y mga agianan nga ginatuyukan nila. Naisip ni Aristarchus na kahit na ang mundo ay umiikot sa araw. So ang Earth kay gatuyok pud siya sa sun. Pero dili lang pud siya ingon nga gatuyok. umiikot din ito sa sarili nitong axis o spin point habang sinusunod nito ang orbit nito sa paligid ng araw. So, ang Earth DI is dili lang kay siya nga gatuyok sa sun. So, kunyari ito ang kanimo ni ang sun. So, ang sun pag human ang Earth is gatuyok siya dito sa sun. Then while gatuyok siya sa sun, mismo ang Earth gatuyok pud siya. Maunang ang atong makita is na ibubuntag ug naay mo gabi. So mo na siya ang theory ni Aristarchus noong 310 BC to 230 BC. Next is Hipparchus. Hipparchus discovered the length of the month, which is only 1 second off from the length that we use today. So Hipparchus natuklasan din niya nga ang haba ng buwan sa isang segundo lang ang layo mula sa haba na ang ginagamit natin ngayon. Na-discovered ni Hipparchus ang kanisya nga theory is noong 190 BC to 120 BC. So next is Eratosthenes. Determined that the circumstance of the distance around the Earth was 20,000 miles, which is only 3,000 miles more than that we know today. So Eratosthenes natukoy niya ang kalayon sa or distance sa Earth is 28,000 milya layo ang kalayon niya gikan sa Earth as to Sun. So muna siya ang kalayon nga abi nato sa una ug duol lang siya. So muna siya ang iyang length nga nahibaw-an ni Aristoteles. So the last one is Theopratus. Regarded as a father of plant science, wrote History of Plants, in which he described the forms, behavior, morphology, and properties of some 500 food and medical plants, most outstanding botanist of the early botany. He wrote Cause of Plants, in which he described grafting methods, seeds effect of temperature upon plants, the relations of weather to soil, and the taste and perfumes of plants. That manuscripts also deals with medical use of plant. So kaniday si Theopratus kanang siya ang ginatawag nga the father of plant science. Gisulat niya ni nga kuan is History of Plants. Murag nagbuhat siya og murag journal nga nakapaloob lang sa mga plants, which is describe the forms of behavior, morphology, and properties of some 500 food and medical plants. So nakasulod diri sa iyang gisulat nga mga forms sa plants, mga ilahang mga pagtubo nila, unsay mga forms, kay dili man tanan parehas og mga forms nga gikan sa seeds to padong patubo. So naapod tay ka na mga nibaw-an nato nga mga foods, dili lang kay sa mga ang plants day is food, naapod siya ka na mga medicals nga kanang kauban ng mga halamang gamot. So most outstanding botanist of early botany, he wrote Cause of Plants. So mo na ni siya ang iyang butang dito nga katong mga cause of plants, kanang naay plants nga makaon, naay plants nga kanang makatambal, naapoy plants nga kanang magamit lang siya nga kuan, in which describe the grafting method, seeds, effect of temperature upon plants. So nagkuan po day siya og kanang mga methods nga unsaon ang plants nga kanang like putlon siya or gisumpay kanang like muna siya gitawag nga grafting methods. Kanang ang isa ka plants kay kibali imong putlon niya ilisa nimo og kanang iyang kuan nga i-connect silang duha para matubo itong iyang i-connect. So naputol na to siya pero gibalik muna siya ang gitawag nga grafting method. Then seeds, effect of temperature upon plants. So wala halos tanan nga plants dili lang kay mabuhi sa init or kuan napo day siya lahi-lahi nga mabuhi siya sa tubig, sa kanang soil lang, or sa kanang napoy mabuhi sa kanang cold region nga mga plants. So whether to soil and taste of perfumes of plants, the manuscript also deals with the medical uses of plant. So no, well known na jud kayo nga is ang plant is kanang daghan kayo example ana is kanang bulak. So dili lang ang plants pod is kanang naapod siya mga klase-klase nga perfumes or kanang mga baho nila. Pero dili lang pod kana ang ilahang kuan bukod sa kanang humot sila or kuan na jud sila magamit nga kanang kauban ato akong giingon ganiha nga makatambal sila like kanang mga medical nga kuan uses sa plant. And overall sa akong report is si Aristocrus is ang theory niya nga na kuha sa ihang years nga kuan tong 310 BC to 230 BC is the unsaon sa earth nga ay unsa ang si Aristocrus is nakuha niya nga ang earth kay gatuyok sa sun, pero wala siya pod gatuyok nga tuyok lang, ang earth pod is gatuyok pod sa iyahang axis. So next is Hipparchus, na discovered niya ang length of amount sa una ug sa karon. Then Eratosthenes is determined the circumference or the distance around Earth is 28,000 miles. So si Hipparchus kay iyang theory is siya ang nagkuan sa plants nga mga klase-klase nga whether asa gitanom or unsay gamit niya, unsay iyang mga baho, muna ang iyang theories. So maulan to. Salamat. Ako dai si John Francis Isanggalan, reporter of Group 4.
So, I will be discussing the Persian civilization. So, the Persian civilization, the Persians were Iranian people who arrived in what is today Iran. So, 1000 BC and settled a region including northwestern Iran, the Zagros Mountains, and persist alongside the native Elamites. So, the Persian, it is a nation that known today as Iran. But way back before, it was known as Persians or Persia. So ancient Iran, historically known as Persia, so just like what I have said, that ang Iran dati is known as Persia, historically known as Persia, was the dominant nation of Western Asia for over 12 centuries with 3 successive native dynasties, the Achaemenid, the Persian, and the Sasanian, controlling an empire of unprecedented size and complexity. So, ang Persia way back before was very dominant sa iyang panahon, especially in Western Asia for over 12 centuries. Grabe. Pataas. It was kanang dominant kay siya for over 12 centuries. So because tungod pod siya sa iyahang na siya kuan magod kanang dynasties, tulo ka dynasties which bring him nga nganong dominant kayo siya. So these dynasties are the Achaemenid, the Persian, and the Sasanian. So i-control nila ang Western Asia for over 12 centuries. Then, the Persian Empire, or also known as the Achaemenid Empire, just like what I have mentioned, the Persia is ilado po siya or known po siya as Achaemenid Empire. So, if naglibog mo sa na Achaemenid Empire, so Achaemenid Empire or an empire, muna siya a group of people na siya or a nation nga gikompose og daghan tao pero naay isa ka tao who is a leader or who kanang kumbaga siya ang nag-manage a group of people nga ruled by a person, or a leader na siya ang tagadala. So, muna siya ang Achaemenid Empire sa way back before sa Persian civilization. Nasa Achaemenid Empire nga dominant kaayo that time. So, lasted from approximately 589 BCE to 300 BCE. At its height, it encompasses the area of modern-day Iran, Egypt, Turkey, and part of Afghanistan and Pakistan. So, what we see in the picture, kanang nakita nato karon diha nga mapa. So, muna siya ang nasakop kumbaga sa Persia way back before, or the Achaemenid Empire before, nga mas known karon nato nga Iran, Egypt, Turkey, and Afghanistan and Pakistan. Muna siya ang iyang kumbaga nasakop niya, na control niya or na rule niya way back before sa Persia civilization. So, the Achaemenid Empire or Achaemenian Empire, also known as the First Persian Empire, the empire or the kingdom was the ancient Iranian Empire founded by Cyrus the Great of the Achaemenid dynasty in 500 BC. It was the largest empire but by that time in history. So, the Achaemenid was founded by Cyrus the Great. So, muna siya ang kumbaga nagdala or founder of the Achaemenid Empire. So, muna siya si Cyrus the Great, So, he is the one who kumbaga manage or rule the Achaemenid Empire or Achaemenid group. So, it was the largest empire but that point in history. So, way back before mo to ang pinakadako daw nga empire sa entire history. So, Cyrus II of Persia, Cyrus II of Persia, commonly known as Cyrus the Great, was the founder of the Achaemenid Persian Empire. So, hailing from Persis, he brought the Achaemenid dynasty to power by defeating the Median Empire. So, as we can see in the picture, muna kunuhay daw, o mga yan na siya si Kuan. Mga na siya si Cyrus the Great. Muna siya ang founder of Achaemenid Empire niya. Iyang gidala. He brought Achaemenid dynasty to power by defeating the Median Empire. So, muna siya ang gidala ni Cyrus the Great, the Achaemenid Empire, to rule, to kumbaga sakupon ng uban empire or labanan ng uban empire, especially ang na-mention diri nga Median Empire. So, muna siya ang dominant empire way back before sa Persian civilization. So, sa Persian civilization, the science and technology development ay nakapokus lang po gihapon siya sa especially sa kuan patirino, same as with the other civilization sa na-report sa ban grupo na ay patiri. So pag abot diri sa Persian civilization na upgrade lang gyapon siya, pero more good gyapon mano-mano pa siya, wala pa siya ingon nga high-tech nga technology.
Rome is the capital of Italy. Roman civilization is characterized by government headed by emperor and large territorial holdings around the Mediterranean Sea in Europe, Africa, and Asia. Today, it's known the Eternal City. Latin is the language spoken by Romans. In terms of science and technology of Roman, the Romans used water power and water mills for making cereals milling, sewing timber, and crushing when they exploited wood and coal for heating. The city of Rome itself was supplied with 11 aqueducts made of limestone that provided the city with over 1 million cubic meters of water each day, sufficient for 3.5 million people even in a more modern day times. Aqueduct, from the Latin word aqua and docere, it means to lead water. Conduit, built to convey water. Aqueducts are structures used to conduct a water stream across a hollow or valley. Basin and conduits with vertical drain shafts collected mountain drop rainwater. Arcade structures carried fresh water across valleys and over built-up city areas, usually along existing roads. Inverted siphons sent water under its own pressure down one side of a valley and up the other. Romans dedicated their many resources to the astronomy, astrology, and other sciences. Their contributions have helped us collect the knowledge we have today. Ancient Roman also used sundials. The sundials is to tell the time and even created portable versions. And also, they use tools for measuring manual drills and metal spikes. Another one of technology of Romans is the advanced glass blowing techniques. Brought new technology to Rome in the form of window glass, hanging glass, oil lamps, and other objects made of glass. Rome's military benefited from technological improvements to weapons, shields, armor, and other items. The Roman civilization noted scientists. The first scientist is Galen. Galen is a great physician and surgeon. Galen influenced the development of various scientific disciplines, including anatomy, physiology, pathology, pharmacology, and neurology, as well as philosophy and logic. Galens also believed in contraria contraris curantur. It a Latin word of opposite cures the opposite. Like for example, heat should be applied to diseases caused by cold and vice versa. The second scientist of the Roman civilization is Marcus Vitruvius Pollio. Is another writer whose work has provided us with important knowledge about ancient Rome. He also an architect and an engineer, sometimes referred as the first architect. For the Rome, architect has its roots. The architect for them is the master and builder. The third and the last scientist is Vitruvius. Vitruvius written a book. The book that he written is De Architectura, or it means on architect. It was characterized as the 10 books on architecture. Vitruvius believed that the construction has a good definition. Like Fermitas. Fermitas is refer or relates to the ability of structure to stand and robustly and remain good. The second one is the utilitas. Utilitas, it should be useful and fulfill their purpose. So, it means that if you construct a house or a building, it has a useful. Yan. And the last one is the vivustas. It should delight people and raise their spirit. And another scientist is Gaius Plinius Secundus the Elder, or we should call us the Pliny. It is a scientist that described almost 1,000 species of plants, most of which were highly valued for their medicinal uses. The Romans primarily built a concrete roads for their military. Yan. Nearly 30 military highways, all made of stone, exited their city. They made 372, connected 113 provinces during the Roman civilization. And ancient roads consisted of several layers. So it means that the road of the ancient Rome has a separated layers. Like us in in our road right now. Like the foundation soil, It is the base on which a road was built, was compressed to be compact and to avoid structural settlement, and then covered with sand or mortar. And the second layer of the road is what we call statumen. Statumen, a layer that's what laid on compacted foundation soil consisting of crushed rock of minimum guarantee of 5 cm. The thickness of the layer ranged from 25 to 60 cm. The next layer is the rudus. A rudus, a 20 cm thick layer consisting of crushed rocks 5 cm in diameter and cement mortar. And the last part of the road of the ancient Roman is the nucleus. It is a concrete-based layer made of cement and sand and gravel. It is a 30 cm thick. And the summum dorsum, the final layer consisting of large 15 cm thick rock. So that was the ancient Roman civilization, the science and technology. I am Ray J. Maurilio from News X.